Welcome to Put the Kettle On from Friends International Lancaster. You should be able to hear me. If not, please put in the comments. We had some difficulties last time, but I think I got it this time. So I'm your host, Skylar, with my co-host slash housemate slash friend, Tim Morris.
Hello. Nice to be here again. And we've got our tea, as required by the title and the whole premise of this video.
Yeah. So, Tim, what are we going to learn about today?
Well, we've been up to stuff this week, haven't we, Skylar?
We have been, yes.
I don't know if people can... I'm not sure what people can see at the moment, but are we going to show people what we've been up to? Or tell them about
they see a little bit here.
So,
do you want me to go to the other shot?
Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, yeah. Great.
All right, there it is in all its glory.
Yeah, so we've been putting up our Christmas tree this year. This week, and which is a Christmas tradition, which we'll talk about more in a second. But we we had a lot of fun making a video of documenting the story of putting up this Christmas tree. I think Skylar's got a little trailer that we're going to show you now.
Yes. All right. Here we go.
We'll get to that. The beam for this moment. We are on a road trip to home base in Morecambe to pick up a Christmas tree stand. What we found. It's a tree topper.
Great.
Top of our tree. This is comfort standard. I don't know whether it's meant to be like comforting for the tree, but it's like a little hug that embraces the trunk. It is wet, it's just started raining. But trees like water, so I think it's okay. We now have here what should be 10 metres of gold tinsel and also 10 metres of red tinsel. Wow, yeah. I think the full video is linked in the description, or you can find it on the Friends International Lancaster page.
Not yet. I will do that though.
But we'll get that put in the description afterwards. But just go on the Friends International page, and it's there, so you can watch all 16 minutes of it.
I just want to say hello to the people that are watching. We have 6 viewers currently now.
Wow, this is an improvement.
So we have Jamie, obviously. We got Val.
Great.
Joe is with us.
Hi Joe and Val and Jamie.
I'm pretty sure Sally's also here, but she hasn't commented in.
Okay, well say hello Sally as well.
And whoever the other viewers are, comment in, say hello.
Yeah, and if you're watching afterwards, do say hello anyway and let us know what you think. If there's anything you'd like to learn about British culture or British Christmases, I think we're going to have another episode next week at least, so we can answer any questions you might have. But yeah, so we've got our Christmas tree, and I've also got some more decorations, Christmas ornaments, if you can see there, that we can put on the tree, and I thought I'd try and do that and talk to you about. Oh, why don't you do this, Scarlett, and then I can tell the good people watching about Christmas trees and where they came from. If you can open this. There we go. So, what can they see at the moment? Can they see you putting this on?
Yeah, they see that one.
Oh, great. I'm just checking what camera we're on. So, Christmas trees is a tradition that came originally from North Europe, so what we call the Baltic countries, so kind of Latvia, I think, around Lithuania, and there. And at some point, it spread to. This is like 500 or more years ago. At some point, it spread to Germany, which was part of. I think they were under the same ruler empire then. So it spread to Germany, and then it primarily came to the UK in the 1800s. So we had a series of kings who were from Germany, or some of them were from Germany, and certainly one of them had a German wife who may be the first person to have a Christmas tree. This was 1800. Queen Charlotte, who was the wife of King George III, might have been the first person to have a Christmas tree in the UK, but they became especially popular during the second half of the 1800s with Queen Victoria, who ruled from I think it was 1838 or 9 to 1900 or 1901. So it's basically the second half of the 1800s, the Victorian era, which is quite well known for lots of developments in engineering and science, and British Empire was at its height then. And anyway, Queen Victoria, her husband was Prince Albert, was from Germany, and so a lot of British Christmas traditions were brought over from Germany by Prince Albert at that time, or during the Victorian period, and a lot of the way the British Christmas is kind of comes from that time, basically. And so Prince Albert had a tree, and I think it was in a magazine or something, and became quite famous, and lots of people wanted to kind of follow what the royal family were doing and kind of copy them, which I think some people do today now still, but I suppose there's other celebrities that people follow. I think back then the royal family was a very popular, kind of took the role of celebrities in society, and so I think another tradition, the British wedding dresses are traditionally white, and I think prior to that people would just have a nice dress of some sort for their wedding. And I think Queen Victoria, if I remember this rightly, had a white wedding dress, and basically after that everyone always has a white wedding dress.
Wow.
So that might be wrong, but I just remember that I hadn't researched that fact for this episode. But so anyway, so yeah, lots of people copied Prince Albert and Queen Victoria and the royal family in what they were doing at Christmas, which was from Germany, because I think Queen Victoria had German parents as well, but had grown up in the UK. But Prince Albert was German from Germany. So and so you have a Christmas tree, and you can buy a live real one. Obviously it's been cut down, so it's kind of slowly dying, but we've got a real one. But you can also get artificial ones that look pretty good, and you can fold them up and store them during the rest of the year, and then put them up at Christmas and decorate them with lots of different things. So we've mainly got what are called baubles, which are these kind of spheres around decorations. There's also tinsel, and we've got some candy canes, which are like sugar hook-shaped things. Skylar grabs one, and you can see there. But you can also get Christmas tree chocolates, which you can buy as chocolates that have a piece of string on them, or you can just buy normal chocolates and put it on yourself and hang them on the tree. So part of my childhood was we'd have a lot of fun trying to find the Christmas tree chocolates. We're normally allowed one a day or something like that. So one other thing is that it's traditional to give each other gifts, or especially close family and friends. You give each other presents at Christmas, and they normally get put under the Christmas tree. And depending on how quickly, far in advance you wrap them up or sort them out, they might be there for weeks. We don't currently have any under our Christmas tree, which is perhaps a reflection of how organised we are. But on Christmas Day, they'd all be there waiting to be opened.
Great.
Those are Christmas trees.
So crackers.
Crackers, yeah. So we had some things in the title. So this is a Christmas cracker, not to be confused with a cracker that's like a biscuit that you would eat with cheese, which is although that will probably happen in my family at Christmas.
Ooh.
With crackers and cheese. But a Christmas cracker is a very British. I think it only exists in Britain, and so it's this. If I give you one, Skylar, it's a paper tube, and it's got stuff inside it. The way you open it is. Shall I put it down? Have you done one of these before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. So we pull it apart, and you have to be ready.
Aww.
So it's got this snap inside that makes this a tiny, tiny bit of explosive that makes this snapping sound. I should do it again.
Aww.
Oh, you can have that one. So you normally do this when you sit down for dinner on sort of lunchtime on Christmas Day for the big Christmas meal. You'd pull these at the start, and inside you normally have three things. there is a paper crown. So we now need to put these on.
Yeah.
So it's you would then spend the Christmas meal with this little paper hat on your head, and quite often you kind of forget it's there, and then you spend the rest of the day. You go to the toilet and see your face in the mirror and realise you're still wearing your paper crown. So everyone at Christmas is sitting around the table with their paper hats on. There is also a little gift or something. So I think this is a tiny and not very usable notebook. Although Skylar's got some pencils, so if we combined, I could then use my little notebook. So it's normally sometimes it's a toy, or I've sometimes had like a little screwdriver set for like mini screwdrivers. So they could be useful or just kind of plastic toys that are kind of fun. And then the last thing you get is a little joke. And these are normally wordplay or called puns, and they're normally really bad. But so mine is, what do you get when you cross a snowman and a vampire?
What?
Frostbite.
Wow. What do snowmen wear on their heads?
I don't know what the snowmen wear on their heads.
Ice caps.
Ice caps. So those are basically wordplay jokes. And so they're all quite fun. So you pull your crackers, everyone reads a joke, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's a terrible joke," but it's also quite funny.
And then lastly, I think we have carols.
Yes, I was going to tell you where crackers came from.
Sure.
So again, from the Victorian age. So there's a guy called Tom Smith, which is a very British name. If you're dreaming up a stereotypical British person, they'd be called Tom Smith. He was a sweet maker, or sold sweets, and he went on a trip to Paris and saw something they have there called bonbons, which are little almonds. I think they might just be almonds or sugared almonds wrapped in pretty paper. So he came back to the UK and started trying to sell these, and he would include a little motto or a riddle, like a sort of little word puzzle, which I think is where the joke sort of originally came from. So he was trying to sell these sweets, and it wasn't very successful. And then he had the idea to put this little explosive in, I think he got it from a firework company, and so he included this cracker snap is what it's called, and I think he said I read they were called explosion surprises or something like that, and and so they were kind of fun and interesting, and so people bought them, and it's eventually turned into a Christmas tradition, and they have the shape they have now. And you can just buy them in the supermarket, and they come in different sizes, and you can get more expensive ones that have kind of more expensive or significant gifts inside, and other ones are just cheaper. So, yeah.
Great.
Carols. Yes. So Carol is a British name for a woman.
Yes.
Actually, lots of people kind of my mother's age, and maybe slightly older or younger. It was very popular in that generation. You wouldn't generally come across many people. We know someone called Carol who's about our age, but it's much more common in like our parents' generation. Anyway, but that's not what we're talking about. Carols are basically Christmas songs. So originally, the word carol could mean kind of any song, but nowadays it's exclusively used to talk about Christmas songs, and they're normally kind of more traditional, not the kind of things you'd hear like pop songs, but often they have a religious element, so they tell part of the Christian Christmas story, or they're just older songs. Mostly I think they're kind of songs that you'd sing in a church, so kind of hymns, and they I think again became more popular and kind of quite distinct as like there's this set of Christmas carols that you often sing at Christmas, and normally only sing at Christmas and don't sing the rest of the year. And I think that was again the late 1800s. And so another traditional thing that British people do around Christmas is go to a Christmas carol service. So
that was new to me.
Yeah, so even people who aren't religious wouldn't normally go to a church service. I think because it's part of Christmas traditions, and people go because it reminds them of Christmas and kind of brings up the Christmas emotions, and it helps them feel in the Christmas mood. So people would often go to a Christmas carol service, and sometimes schools are involved and they're doing a nativity, which is where children kind of play the story of Christmas. We have to explain that another time. But yeah, so lots of people go to a Christmas carol service. And I think there's some happening. It was quite a lot. Well, most of the churches in Lancaster are still doing carol services, but probably online. So I don't know if we've got details of those as well. If people want to,
yeah,
we can. We'll put it in the description.
I'm gonna put a link in while Tim keeps talking.
So yeah, if you've never been to a carol service, you might be able to go to one in person if you're in the UK, and just check out the link Scarlett's about to post, or there'll be lots of them that you can watch online, and it's normally quite fun. Lots of singing and readings, normally from the Bible, which tell bits of the Christmas story, I mean, I guess if you haven't grown up in the UK, it won't have the same emotional kind of resonance and make you feel warm and Christmassy. But it's a really nice thing as well. So, one last thing, carol tradition. Probably not happening this year because of coronavirus and you can't do it. But there's a tradition of going carol singing, where you get together in a little group and you would go around streets in your area or somewhere and knock on people's doors, and then when they open the door, you start singing, and you
normally quite badly.
Yeah, it can be quite badly. Often people do it and they're raising money for charity of some sort, so they have a bucket, and you could, even if the singing's awful, you give them some money anyway because it's for a good cause. So that probably won't happen this year, or it might be people are doing it but standing away from your door.
I think there's like specific like guidelines that the government has put out that you have to be like a certain, like no one could be facing each other because apparently that's how you sing.
Yeah. Well, no, I think you might normally stand in a little circle or something. But I also know some people who do it where they would, especially if you've got a street that's just a kind of dead end, they might stand in the kind of middle of it, the middle of the street, and sing for like several houses at once, rather than, it also depends how close the house is.
Especially because you're normally quite loud, so if you're just going to door, they'll hear it.
Well, actually, people would sometimes do it in public places. So if there's a Christmas market or something, or like the town square, so like Dalton Square or Market Square in Lancaster.
Yeah, there were some gents on Penny Street the other day.
Yeah, so if you're out shopping, especially at the weekend, you might see some people standing or hear some people singing carols, and then normally they'll be collecting money for a charity. So
great. Well, Tim, I think we should start to wrap it up.
Yes.
I think you've gone on long enough, and
That's absolutely fine.
I'm sure people have many questions about Christmas. And have you thought about what we're talking about next week?
It'll be more Christmas things.
Yeah,
more British Christmas traditions. Probably what people do, like what families would do on Christmas Day or around Christmas itself, and maybe about Christmas food.
True, right.
Cool.
So Sally said the tree looks great. So did my mum. Joe said heard they were going to do a carol sing-along from front doors if you tune into a radio station and do it as a street. Ooh, that should be interesting. Feel free to put that information in the comment section, Joe, if you think that'd be good for people.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously this stream is tuned for international students, those that are stuck in Lancaster for this Christmas, so just different activities that they can be doing, those sorts of things. And Jamie wrote down the THEE.
Thanks, Jamie.
I
think I might have pressed enter too soon. Anyway,
maybe
we'll
the tree is large.
The tree is large.
Yes. So again, reminder, I put out a video earlier today of our whole adventure of getting our very large tree.
It was quite an adventure, and it is a large tree.
So do make sure you do watch that, because we are quite proud of our tree, though how large it is.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah.
And we will see you same time next week.
Yep.
Wednesday. Yeah, great.
All right.
Have a good week.
Bye, guys.